Hey guys, Siggy here. Got a 2003 V-Star 1100 Classic that we're going to be doing an oil change on. This is a factory system. It's not an oil filter relocation. I know a lot of you guys usually run the oil filter relocation kits, but it's really not bad with the factory setup. You do have to unbolt the exhaust, but it's really not complicated, and it's pretty easy. So follow along today, and you guys will be able to change your oil anytime you want. All right, starting off here, we've got two studs, okay, two nuts on the back side here, or on the front of the engine, on the front jug, that we're gonna have to take off. These are 12 millimeter each. They shouldn't be too rusted unless you guys ride in the rain and salt, you know, but most guys don't. So shouldn't be too bad, but yeah, it's gonna be two 12 millimeter nuts. Take those off. All right, we got these nuts off back here. So now we're gonna move to the back of the bike. As you can see right here, there's one bolt holding that on. In my case, this is a 13 millimeter. I am not sure if these are normally 13 millimeter or not. I believe this is a factory bolt, but I do not remember. But either way, there will be a bolt, and this is for the bottom pipe, okay, the one leading to the front of the engine. Or the front of the bike rather, but the bottom bolt, take that out. Alrighty guys, you can see I got that bolt out there. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually take this pipe off, okay? Admittedly, sometimes this gets stuck up here. You can see it's pretty tight clearance, but just kind of wiggle it out. Try not to scratch anything up. I do usually wear gloves for this just because it's chrome, and while this chrome isn't in the best of condition, I'd still like to keep it pretty nice. Now this is my personal bike, so it's, you know, it's fine. I can make fun of it a little bit. Also be aware that there is a gasket inside along this mating surface up here. So make sure you keep that intact. You don't smash that, break it, whatever. If you do, you'll have to replace it. So, all right, got that pipe removed. Came over here to the other side. Now we're going to go ahead and take this oil filter, or this oil filler rather, cap off. We'll let the crankcase breathe while we drain it out. Underneath here is a 18 millimeter bolt. I'll show you that here in a sec. You're gonna go ahead and take that drain bolt out, let it drain, and then I'll see you guys on the other side there where we're gonna take the oil filter out. All right, got that drain plug out. Got the oil drained, went ahead and snugged that back up. Made sure that crush washer was good. Always check your crush washers. That way you don't have to redo this job in the future and diagnose an oil leak. Now we're gonna go ahead and take a 5 millimeter Allen, take out these 5 bolts. Those 4, and then there's one right there. We're gonna pop those guys out really quick. All right, once you pop that cover off, make sure you keep track of which bolts are which. The bottom here is going to be the longest, and then it's going to be the second longest and third longest in that order. Then the top 2 are actually the same. Those are going to be the shortest. But once you get that cover popped off, go ahead and reach in here, pull this guy off. Sometimes you might need some pliers. In this case, I was able to get that out. Now, beware, there are O-rings on this, but also this bottom bolt here also has a little grommet O-ring there as well. But once you get that off, go ahead, reach in, pull the oil filter out. Go ahead, set that in your drain pan. Now, I do try to always replace my O-rings if I have the choice. You can find the Wix kit. It's gonna be 24935. You can find this at your local Napa in most cases. If you're not able to get this, almost every parts store has this guy. This is gonna be the K&N 145. This does not have O-rings. I believe there's another one made by EMGO, E-M-G-O, if I remember correctly. I have no experience with those, but I usually try to use Wix or Perolator for all of my oil filters, but you know, K&N is also perfectly acceptable. So mobile one as well. But in this application, I usually go with the wicks just because it comes as a full kit with the O-rings. Once you pop that out, go ahead and pull these O-rings off if you have the kit, replace them, and then do the reverse order as far as pulling this out. So once I get this all bolted back up, I'll be back with you. All right, got that cover bolted back up. You're gonna snug these down pretty good. Do be careful though that you don't break that cast or that aluminum cover that's on the inside there that covers, you know, with the two bigger O-rings. Just be cautious of that. I have seen that happening on the forums and whatnot. But once you get that bolted back up, make sure you clean up all the oil and whatnot. You did see that I put a little bit of oil on the O-ring surfaces, and that's just so, and then you don't, you know, it kind of greases them up a little bit. That way it slides in a little bit easier, creates a better seal, and also you don't cut a seal on install. All right, switching to the other side, we're gonna go ahead and fill this up with oil. Now, this bike takes 10W40. Make sure you get motorcycle oil, okay? You can run diesel oil, and I believe that's what actually drained out of this was Shell Rotella T4. I believe it's a semi-synthetic. It was 15W40, which is fine for my climate here, but if you run anything other than motorcycle oil, okay, make sure that it's going to be compatible with the clutch. Make sure it doesn't have any friction modifiers in it. JASO, JASO, you can see it's a wet clutch compatibility rating. Make sure that whatever oil you're using, it meets that. That way you're not gonna fry your clutch. Regular car oil will not work. Obviously in this case, I've got Royal Purple. It's a little bit expensive. You don't have to run anything like this. Like I said, that Shell Rotella T4 diesel oil works pretty good. Or I've had Mobil 1 V-Twin motorcycle oil in the past. I've had Mobil 1 or Valvoline racing oil for motorcycles. And I've also run Castrol, 4-stroke motorcycle oil as well. It all works the same. Just make sure you get a 10W40 or maybe a 15W40, depending on your climate. Follow the manual, use your better judgment. But this thing's gonna take about 3 quarts, just over 3 quarts with the oil filter change. So we're gonna get it filled up. Now, there is a sight glass under here. As you can see, you wanna aim for the middle of that. It'll say, I'll show you guys once I get it filled up, but I'll check back with you. All right, got it filled up, just over 3 quarts, just a hair over. Now make sure the bike is on flat ground. Whenever you do this, make sure it's not lopsided one way or the other. As you can see, I've got mine actually mounted up on a Pittsburgh, Harbor Freight motorcycle jack. It works fine. It is a little narrow in this application, but it works fine. I've done it plenty of times and the bike isn't going anywhere, but it's perfectly flat right now. And as you can see, the sight glass is right at that top fill line. Sorry, if that can focus there. That is right where I want it. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get that exhaust mounted back up in reverse order in the way that we took it off. So make sure that there's no leaks first though. You wanna check that bottom drain plug, make sure there's no oil accumulating at the bottom there, but also you wanna check these bolts as well, make sure there's nothing seeping underneath. The last thing you want is to do this job again and diagnose an oil leak. So All right, got everything mounted back up. Everything's tight. I did add a little bit of blue Loctite to that rear bolt for the pipe back there. And that's only because I don't want anything wiggling, vibrating, heating up. You know, heat cycles will affect torque as well. So I always put just a small little dab of blue Loctite on there just in case. But got that mounted up. We're actually gonna fire this thing up just to make sure that there's no weird sounds coming from the valve train and that there's no weird sounds coming from that front pipe either. We wanna make sure that that gasket's still intact, still sealing good, especially since I didn't replace it today. And yeah, we'll get it fired up. Let's see. It's in neutral. All right, got the bike shut off. It's been about 15 minutes or so. Let that oil drain back, and we're gonna make sure, double check that the oil level is in between those two notches there. You want it halfway up the sight glass. So this one's actually a little bit low, so I'm actually gonna top this up, or top this off, throw a little bit more oil in it, and wrap this thing up. Alrighty guys, thank you guys for tuning in today. If there's anything else you guys want to see with 2003 V-Stars, or you know, anything else that you see on this channel, let me know. I'm down to do maintenance and do work and show you guys how to do things, whether they need to be done over here or not. So thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that. Have a good one. Thank you.